In the shadows of impenetrable jungles, on dusty plateaus, and high in the mountains of America, structures exist that could stump even the most experienced archaeologists of our time. Majestic pyramids, towering amidst the green sea of tropical forests. No one has been able to unravel for many centuries. Who created these monumental structures? For what purpose were they built? These questions remain unanswered to this day. No less mysterious are the subterranean tunnels stretching for hundreds of kilometers beneath the Earth's surface, known only to select representatives of local tribes. They spoke of them in hushed tones, passing down knowledge from generation to generation. And the giant stone heads of the Olmecs, weighing tens of tons, as if they fell from the sky. How else can one explain their appearance in places where there is not a single basalt deposit? Official science often offers explanations for these phenomena, but they sound unconvincing, raising more questions than answers. It is remarkable that civilizations separated by thousands of kilometers and never having contact with each other created structures remarkably similar in architectural style and mathematical proportions. Coincidence? Or evidence of something greater? Before us are not mere fancies and fantasies, but real, tangible constructions that can be seen with our own eyes. 15 mystical structures of America await our attempt to decipher their secrets. Perhaps the most enigmatic mystery of ancient America remains the lines of Nazca, those secret messages etched into the earth, visible in their entirety only from the height of a bird's flight. In the arid desert of southern Peru, on a plateau stretching over hundreds of square kilometers, an ancient civilization created something incomprehensible to the modern human mind: gigantic geoglyphs depicting animals, plants, and geometric figures of perfect form. Hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, condors, these images stretch over hundreds of meters, maintaining flawless proportions, as if drawn by the hand of a giant artist. But how could people, unable to rise into the air, create drawings that from the ground appear only as chaotic lines? How did they achieve such mathematical precision without modern instruments? And most importantly, why? Official science offers us the belief that the lines of Nazca were part of rituals connected to the worship of water and fertility. Some researchers assert that they are an ancient astronomical map, reflecting the positions of constellations in the sky. Others see in them a gigantic calendar marking the seasons of rain and drought. But there are those who propose far more daring theories. Erich von Däniken, a renowned investigator of ancient mysteries, suggested that the lines of Nazca were nothing more than landing strips for spacecraft of extraterrestrial beings, whom the ancient Peruvians considered gods. After all, how else can one explain that these images were created for observation from above, in an era when humans could not fly? It is astonishing that these lines have survived for thousands of years, some of them for more than 2,000 years. The dry climate of the desert and the absence of strong winds have allowed these fragile drawings to reach our days practically unchanged. Local residents say that at night, when the desert is plunged into darkness and the stars shine particularly brightly, one can hear strange sounds coming from under the earth, as if the ancient gods were still communicating with those who created these mysterious symbols for them. Scientists continue to study the lines of Nazca, using the most modern technologies, from LiDAR scanning to spectral analysis of the soil. But the more data they collect, the more questions arise. Recently, dozens of new geoglyphs have been discovered, which had remained unnoticed for centuries. What else does this ancient desert hide? What secrets do these mysterious lines, etched into the surface of the earth by the hands of a long-lost civilization, hold? Perhaps we will never know the full truth about the lines of Nazca, but they continue to attract researchers and travelers from all over the world, reminding us of how little we know about our ancestors and their extraordinary achievements. Mysterious Stonehenge, the secrets of American Stonehenge. But this is not the only mystery hidden under the dark sky of ancient America. Traveling northeast into the dense forests of New Hampshire, we encounter a mysterious monument known as the American Stonehenge. These massive stone structures, arranged in the shape of a solar calendar, raise many questions. What secrets lie behind these grand constructions, and what role did they play in the lives of ancient peoples? Archaeologists have not yet reached a consensus. Some believe they were created by Celts, who could have made long journeys across the ocean long before Columbus. Others suggest that these stones were erected by early settlers seeking ways to understand the changing world around them. However, the age of these structures, estimated at thousands of years, casts doubt on all known historical frameworks. How did these stones, gathered into something magnificent and inexplicable, survive through the ages? The strange shapes and sizes of the stones raise even more questions. Some of them weigh several tons. And how were they moved from place to place in those distant times when there were no simple machines? Perhaps this is evidence of the remarkable engineering skills of ancient people, about whom we still know little. Or perhaps these constructions were part of some ritual connected to solar cycles. Local residents tell stories of strange sensations that arise in this place. Sometimes it seems that the stones whisper to each other, and the shadow they cast seems to convey a message from another time. Some researchers suggest that these stones could have served as some astronomical instrument, allowing ancient people to track the movement of the sun and other stars. But this is just one of many theories. Others claim that the American Stonehenge could have served as a sacred place for rituals connected to fertility and reverence for nature. However, despite all efforts to understand the purpose of its creation, the truth remains a mystery. How could ancient builders, without modern technologies, construct such complex structures that continue to amaze us with their precision? And why does this monument, seemingly guarded by centuries, continue to keep its secrets? Research continues, and new methods, such as radiocarbon dating and georadar, allow us to deepen our understanding of the structure and its purpose. But each new step only emphasizes how much more complex and mysterious this history becomes. So, the question remains, what other secrets do the forests of New Hampshire hide? And how many more mysteries await discovery around the world? Perhaps each of them reveals a veil over the greatness and strangeness of ancient civilizations that left their traces in history but whose secrets still await to be unraveled. The Serpent Mound, ancient observatory or sacred site. Continuing our journey through the world of ancient mysteries, we find ourselves in the heart of Ohio, where among the green hills and dense forests lies one of the most intriguing archaeological discoveries, the Serpent Mound. This massive earthen mound, stretching over 4 miles in the shape of a snake, evokes not only admiration, but also a multitude of questions. How did this monument, untouched for centuries, manage to preserve its secrets? Who could have created such a grand structure oriented towards the summer solstice, and for what purpose? The local indigenous tribes revere this place as sacred, but their legends do not provide a clear answer to the origin of this enigmatic mound. Some archaeologists suggest that the Serpent Mound may have served as an ancient observatory, allowing local inhabitants to track solar cycles and utilize this information for agricultural needs. Imagine thousands of years ago, people with remarkable knowledge of celestial bodies gathering around this monument to mark important moments in their calendar. But is this truly the case? Or does the Serpent Mound conceal deeper and more mystical meanings? Perhaps this place became the center of rituals connected to the worship of natural forces, and it was here that ancient peoples sought a connection with the spirit world. However, despite all the investigations, many aspects of this structure remain unclear. How exactly could ancient builders create such a complex structure without modern tools? And what exactly did they intend to communicate to future generations by leaving this strange and magnificent sign on the earth? Researchers continue to work on unraveling this mystery, employing new technologies such as ground-penetrating radar and soil analysis, but each new step only emphasizes how full of unsolved mysteries this history is. But the Serpent Mound is not the only mystery associated with this site. Local residents tell of strange phenomena occurring in this place. Sometimes it seems as if the whispers of the ancient ones can be heard in the silence of the forest, and the hills themselves seem to come to life, telling their stories. How is this possible? Is there a presence of ancient spirits here, or is it simply a play of imagination? Some researchers lean towards the idea that this place is a focus of special energy, attracting people from all corners of the world. But despite all efforts to unravel the secrets of the Serpent Mound, the truth remains shrouded in a veil. Why does this monument, seemingly protected by time, continue to keep its secrets? And how many more such mysteries does the world hold, waiting to be discovered? Each of them, perhaps, opens a veil over the grandeur and strangeness of ancient civilizations that left their traces in history but whose secrets still await discovery. We are only beginning to understand that the richness of our history is much greater than we imagine, and perhaps even more amazing discoveries await us ahead. Lost in the Jungles. The Mysteries of the Ancient City of Tiahuanaco. As we journey further along the path of ancient enigmas, we find ourselves in the heart of Bolivia, where, amidst the green jungles and towering mountains, lies the magnificent city of Tiahuanaco. This megalithic complex, shrouded in the mist of history, evokes awe and raises numerous questions. Its age remains a subject of debate. Some scholars assert that Tiahuanaco was built more than 3,000 years ago, while others lean towards more recent dates. How is it that this high-altitude city, constructed from massive stone blocks weighing tens of tons, continues to stand, preserving its secrets? How did ancient builders achieve such extraordinary precision in stonework, allowing the blocks to fit together seamlessly as if made by modern technologies? Local legends speak of gods from the sky, who brought knowledge and technologies necessary for the creation of this grand city. Who were these gods? Were they real beings, or merely the product of the imagination of ancient peoples? Perhaps it was they who taught people to build such magnificent structures that continue to amaze archaeologists and historians to this day. Yet, despite all these speculations, the true nature of Tiahuanaco remains a mystery. Some researchers believe that the city could have been a religious center or a trade hub connecting different ancient cultures. Within this megalithic structure, one can still see traces of ritual platforms where, possibly, ceremonies linked to the veneration of celestial bodies were performed. But is this truly the case? Or does Tiahuanaco conceal even deeper mysteries that remain to be deciphered? How could ancient civilizations, possessing such complex astronomical knowledge, disappear without a trace? Every corner of Tiahuanaco is filled with mystique and the atmosphere of antiquity. Walking along its streets, one can feel the coolness of the stone that has held millions of secrets. The sounds of the jungle surrounding this megapolis seem to whisper about events that once took place here. Archaeologists working on this site have often encountered inexplicable phenomena. Sometimes it seemed to them that something unknown was floating in the air, making them ponder whether they might be witnesses to something far greater. But Tiahuanaco is not the only enigma hidden under the canopy of the jungle. As research in this region continues, scientists discover new artifacts that challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations. Magnificent cultures that left behind such megalithic structures could have existed in parallel with others about whom we know very little. What was their fate? What were their connections with other peoples? And what happened to their knowledge and technologies? The unraveling of these mysteries lies beyond our comprehension. Each new discovery shows how rich and complex the history of humanity is, and how many more secrets we have yet to uncover. Perhaps hidden deep within the jungles of Bolivia are even more extraordinary discoveries waiting for their moment to reveal the grandeur and strangeness of ancient civilizations. We are only beginning to realize that what we know about our past is just a tiny fraction of a vast tapestry filled with mysteries that continue to beckon us with their secrets. How many more such places are hidden in our world awaiting discovery and exploration? Megaliths of Sacsayhuamán, traces of aliens, or secrets of ancient builders? Delving deeper into the world of mysteries, we find ourselves in Peru, where among the majestic Andes lies one of the most enigmatic ancient structures, Sacsayhuamán. This megalithic complex, built from enormous stone blocks weighing up to 200 tons, challenges our understanding of ancient technologies and construction methods. How could ancient people create such cyclopean walls, perfectly fitted together without using mortar? It seems as if these massive stones, by some magic, merge into a single whole, leaving us bewildered. How is it that modern technologies, with their powerful cranes and equipment, are unable to replicate such craftsmanship? Sacsayhuamán, towering over the ancient Inca capital of Cusco, has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Some researchers suggest that these walls served not only as protection, but also as sacred places where rituals connected to the worship of deities were performed. But who possessed such knowledge and skills? Perhaps these were not just people, but something greater. Some theories even propose that these megaliths were left behind by aliens, beings with knowledge surpassing our own. What was the true nature of these builders, and what were they trying to convey to future generations? Exploring Sacsayhuamán, we immerse ourselves in the atmosphere of ancient times, feeling the cold stone under our hands and hearing the echo of footsteps in the endless stone corridors. Each crack and line in these walls speaks of a time when people may have been closer to something great and incomprehensible. Local legends speak of secret knowledge lost with the disappearance of ancient civilizations. How could they work with stone so masterfully, achieving such precision that even modern equipment cannot guarantee similar results? Sacsayhuamán is not the only place where such megaliths have been found. In the vicinity, one can find other mysterious constructions that raise the same questions. What was the connection between these structures and the cultures that existed in other parts of the world? Could they exchange knowledge, or perhaps even share common roots? How could such advanced technologies be forgotten, while the builders themselves remained in the shadows of history? Despite numerous studies and theories, the mystery of Sacsayhuamán remains unsolved. Each new artifact found in this region opens up new horizons, forcing us to ask new questions. What else do these majestic walls hide? How many more secrets remain hidden under the veil of time, waiting to be uncovered and studied? All these questions make us ponder what we know about our past. Perhaps this is just a small part of a vast world of mysteries that continues to captivate us. How many more places like Sacsayhuamán are hidden in our world, waiting for their time to reveal their secrets and amaze us? Each discovery, each mystery reminds us that the history of humanity is full of amazing revelations, and we are only at the threshold of their unraveling. Pyramids found not in Egypt, the mysteries of Tikal. Delving into the world of mysteries, we once again find ourselves in the heart of antiquity. And this time our path leads us to Guatemala, where amidst the green jungles lies one of the most impressive cities of the Maya civilization, Tikal. This ancient metropolis, once flourishing in the tropics, holds not only grand pyramids, but also a multitude of mysteries that leave scientists scratching their heads. It turns out that the pyramids of Tikal were used not only as temples, but also as sites for ritual sacrifices. In these sacred places, the ancient Maya sought the blessing and protection of the gods. But what do we know about the rituals performed here? What were the true motives behind these ceremonies, and what forces were they calling upon for help? One of the most mysterious pyramids of Tikal, known as the Pyramid of the 12, possesses a unique acoustic phenomenon. If you stand at its base and clap your hands, the sound echoes in such a way that it resembles the cry of the sacred Quetzal bird, which, according to legend, was associated with the divine. How is this possible? How did the ancient builders create such an extraordinary acoustic marvel using only primitive tools available at the time? Perhaps it was not just a coincidence, but a conscious decision aimed at creating a bond between humans and the divine, evoking fear and awe in those who dared to enter these sacred places. Tikal, celebrated for its magnificent pyramids and temples, is also surrounded by many mysteries. How did it happen that this once powerful city, one of the most magnificent in the Maya world, disappeared in an unknown direction? Historians believe that climate changes and internal conflicts may have played a role. But what if there were other forces at work of which we are not aware? How could such a developed city simply vanish, leaving behind only ruins that nature now reclaims? Research shows that Tikal was not only a religious center, but also a significant trade hub. How did it happen that this extraordinary city, where people created art and sciences, became abandoned over time? Perhaps its inhabitants knew something that we cannot understand. Perhaps the ancient wisdom hidden in these stones is still waiting for its time to be revealed. But Tikal is not the only mystery. Over the centuries, archaeologists have found numerous artifacts here, from pottery to stelae adorned with enigmatic hieroglyphs that have not yet been deciphered. What were these messages, and what could they tell us about the life, culture, and beliefs of the Maya? Some theories suggest that these hieroglyphs contain prophecies about the fate of the civilization, perhaps even warnings of catastrophes that may happen again. But who can say what the true purpose of these inscriptions was? Thus, Tikal remains one of the most intriguing places on the planet, where every stone can tell its own story. Each pyramid, each crack in the walls may hold the key to understanding not only the Maya civilization, but also the entire history of humanity. How many more cities full of mysteries and enigmas are hidden in the jungles, waiting to be discovered and studied? How many questions do we still have that remain unanswered? And perhaps these mysteries, like the pyramids themselves, will remain buried in the earth until the time comes when humanity can unravel them. Stone faces gazing at the sky. Olmec heads in Mexico. Moving from the mysterious Tikal, we find ourselves in the heart of Mexico, where time seems to have stopped, leaving behind the grand and enigmatic Olmec heads. These gigantic stone sculptures, carved from heavy basalt, can weigh up to 40 tons and represent incredible works of art, endowed with remarkably detailed facial features. How were they created? How did the ancient Olmecs manage to process such massive stone blocks and transport them over long distances? These questions remain unanswered, much like many other mysteries surrounding this ancient culture. The sculptures found in places like La Venta and San Lorenzo exude a mysterious aura. Each eye, each curve of the lips seems to hide stories that they cannot tell. But who were these people who created such enigmatic works of art? What were their beliefs and customs? Scholars have been trying to answer these questions for many years, but despite their efforts, the facts remain elusive. Some researchers suggest possible contacts between the Olmecs and other cultures, even African tribes. However, evidence of this remains speculative and conjectural, like a shadow cast by light. How could the Olmecs create such massive heads without modern technologies? The answer may lie in their exceptional skills in working with stone and their extraordinary organization of labor. But how did they achieve such precision and mastery? Perhaps they used forgotten methods that disappeared along with their civilization. Or maybe they possessed knowledge that we cannot even imagine. Each head, each detail, creates a sense that they were not only created for beauty, but also to convey important symbolic meaning. Some scholars believe that these heads could have represented images of rulers or gods, serving as a link between earth and heaven. But what exactly did these faces symbolize? What roles did they play in society, and what part did they play in the rituals of the ancient Olmecs? Despite numerous studies, the Olmec culture remains one of the most mysterious in the history of Mexico. How did it happen that a civilization that created such impressive works of art disappeared, leaving behind only stone testimonies of its existence? Perhaps there are still many secrets hidden in the depths of Mexican soil, waiting to be discovered. And how many other ancient cultures, of which we know nothing, may have stories to tell but remain untold? Each Olmec head, gazing at the celestial expanse, seems to hold not only the mysteries of its time, but also riddles that will continue to puzzle researchers for many years to come. How many questions remain unanswered, and how many stories await their hour to be told? In the search for truth, we are only scratching the surface of the ancient civilizations, and perhaps in the future, new discoveries will change our understanding of the past. Lost City, Palenque, and the mystery of the cosmic sarcophagus. Delving into the depths of Mexico, we open doors to the enigmatic city of Palenque, one of the most mysterious places ever created by the Maya civilization. This city, surrounded by dense jungles, with its magnificent temples and beautiful palaces, seems to have been carved from the very fabric of time. But what happened to this remarkable civilization? How could such a developed city disappear, leaving behind only whispers of its existence? In Palenque, among the ruins, something strange is found. A temple containing a sarcophagus that resembles a cosmic spaceship. This sarcophagus, adorned with unusual images, continues to spark debate and discussion among archaeologists and historians. But what exactly do these mysterious images represent? Some researchers even refer to it as a Maya astronaut, adding yet another layer of mystery to the already enigmatic heritage of this people. As we enter this temple, the scent of damp earth and age envelops us, creating a sense that we are on the threshold of discovery. The walls are covered with hieroglyphs that may tell stories lost to modern man. How could the Maya create such a complex structure, filled with symbols and mysteries? And what were they trying to convey through these images? On the sarcophagus, a figure is depicted sitting in a chair, slightly leaning forward, evoking associations with cosmonauts. But how could this person be connected to space travel if the Maya civilization existed thousands of years ago? Some scientists suggest that this image may reflect ancient knowledge about stars and the cosmos, which has been lost over time. But how could people living in such conditions possess such knowledge? Perhaps they were witnesses to phenomena that we cannot explain. Or is it merely a symbolic interpretation, reflecting their understanding of the world and their spiritual connection to the cosmos? But the mysteries of Palenque do not end here. What was the function of this temple in the lives of the Maya? Was it a place of worship, or perhaps a burial site for great rulers? What significance did this Maya astronaut hold in their culture? Considering that Palenque was a significant cultural and political center, its disappearance remains one of the darkest pages in the history of the Maya. How could such highly developed people abandon their lands, leaving behind architectural masterpieces and works of art? Over the centuries, researchers have tried to unravel the mystery of Palenque, but each answer only gives rise to new questions. How many more secrets does this ancient city hide? What other artifacts might change our understanding of the Maya and their achievements? Perhaps hidden in the jungles, veiled by green canopies, are other cities that were once centers of knowledge and power, but now await their time in the shadow of history. How many more such mysteries await discovery? How many stories lost in the ages remain untold? In our search for answers, we are only beginning our journey along the trails of ancient civilizations, and perhaps Palenque is just the tip of the iceberg, hiding within itself a multitude of secrets about our past. Mysterious Moai of Easter Island, traces of ancient civilizations on the edge of the world. Traveling from the enigmatic Rapa Nui to the distant shores of the Pacific Ocean, we encounter another mysterious culture, the island of Easter Island. This isolated land, belonging to Chile, became home to extraordinary stone giants known as Moai. These massive statues, seemingly silent sentinels, gaze out at the sea as if waiting for the return of their creators, or some unknown horizon. But what secrets do these majestic figures hide? What were their true functions and significance in the lives of the Polynesian people who once inhabited this remote island? Researchers still debate how these giants were transported from their quarries, where they were carved from volcanic tuff. Some theories suggest that complex systems of ropes and commands involving hundreds of people were used. However, no one can definitively answer how they were moved to their final locations. Some statues remain hidden beneath the earth, adding to their air of mystery. Why were they buried? Was it an accident or a deliberate action connected to cultural or religious practices? The isolation of Easter Island played a role in the formation of a unique culture that developed far from other earthly civilizations. Here, among green hills and boundless ocean expanses, myths and legends were born. Some researchers suggest that the moai symbolized ancestors, and their creation and installation were part of a complex ritual aimed at ensuring prosperity and protection from external threats. But what were the true motivations of their creators? What is the connection between the statues and the disappearance of the local population, which, according to some data, could have been caused by ecological catastrophes or internal conflicts? Comparing the moai with the enigmatic structures of the Maya civilization, one cannot help but wonder if there are hidden connections between these cultures. How could such distant peoples create similar works of art and architecture if their paths only intersected in the most daring dreams? Does this mean they were part of a single current that perhaps carried them through the boundless expanses of time? But these questions only scratch the surface of the mysteries surrounding Easter Island and its moai. How many more secrets are hidden in this remote corner of the world? What other artifacts might be waiting to be discovered on the ocean floor or within the Earth's depths? Perhaps these are not the only enigmatic statues that preserve memories of long-lost civilizations. How many more untold stories of people who left their mark on Earth remain beyond our field of vision? Easter Island is just one of many keys to understanding the great mosaic of human history, and each new discovery can change our perception of the past. The mystery of the crawling stones in Death Valley, a secret that defies explanation. Moving from the enigmatic stones of Easter Island to the arid expanses of Death Valley in the United States, we encounter another baffling natural anomaly: the crawling stones, which seem to live their own lives. At the bottom of the dried-up lake of Racetrack, situated in this harsh and desolate region, lie stones weighing tens of kilograms, leaving mysterious tracks on the smooth, parched surface. These stones, which appear to be ordinary boulders, seem almost magical when we observe how they slowly move, leaving tracks as if an invisible force is pushing them forward. But how do they do it? How can we explain this extraordinary phenomenon? Many researchers have tried to unravel this mystery, and while some have found partial explanations, many questions remain unanswered. According to one theory, water may freeze on the lake bed at night, forming a thin layer of ice. During the day, this ice begins to melt, creating a thin film of water that allows the stones to slide across the surface. However, this theory cannot fully explain how the stones move so far and with such precision. How could these massive boulders move without an external force? Some believe that magnetic or even mystical forces are behind this phenomenon, forces that science has yet to explain. It's as if nature itself is playing with our understanding of physics. In this context, one wonders, could the crawling stones be something more profound, something we simply cannot comprehend? Could ancient peoples who inhabited these lands have known about this phenomenon and created myths associated with these stones? Comparing this mystery with other natural anomalies, such as the strange circles in fields or glowing orbs observed in various parts of the world, one cannot help but ask, how many more such phenomena remain unexplained? How many secrets does our planet hold? And what can they tell us about the past of humanity? Perhaps in Death Valley, amidst these enigmatic crawling stones, lie the keys to understanding not only nature, but also the people who once inhabited these lands. But the mystery of the crawling stones remains unsolved. How long will we have to wait to learn the truth about this extraordinary and strange phenomenon? Are there similar secrets on other continents, waiting to be discovered? Each new discovery may lead to new questions, and perhaps behind every stone lies a story that we are not yet ready to hear. Death Valley is not just a place. It is a symbol of human curiosity to unravel the mysteries that surround us. And perhaps in this pursuit, we will find answers to questions about our place in this extraordinary and mysterious world. Pyramid hidden under a hill. The mysteries of Cholula. Moving from the riddles of the Valley of Death to the riddles of Mexico, we find ourselves at the foot of a magnificent pyramid in Cholula. At first glance, it appears to be simply a hill topped with a church. But looking deeper, a fascinating story unfolds about an ancient structure that remained hidden from view for many centuries. This pyramid, known as the Great Pyramid of Cholula, is considered the largest pyramid in the world by volume, and its dimensions are breathtaking. It is twice as large as the famous Pyramid of Cheops in Egypt, but its existence remained in the shadows for a long time. Spanish colonizers, who erased many aspects of the culture of the indigenous peoples, built the Church of Santa Maria on the summit of this hill, as if trying to close a cult site that was likely connected to pagan beliefs and rituals. But by hiding it, they only added to its mystery. How did it happen that such a grand structure is hidden under this hill? And why did it remain unknown for so long? Only in the early 20th century did archaeologists begin excavations that partially unveiled the veil of secrecy. Under layers of earth and vegetation, massive walls, carefully crafted from bricks, as well as countless tunnels and chambers that were once part of this magnificent temple were discovered. Researchers found that the pyramid was built in several stages, starting in the early centuries of our era, and served as the center of religious life for ancient civilizations such as the Toltecs and Aztecs. But what happened to those who built this enormous structure? How could such a civilization's achievement disappear from historical memory? Some researchers propose a theory that, with the arrival of the Spanish and their religious ideology, the local peoples were forced to abandon their traditions and cults, leading to the forgetting of this unique place. However, the question remains, what was hidden in the sanctuary of Cholula? Perhaps it contained knowledge that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient cultures. Or perhaps it held ritual artifacts that are still waiting to be discovered. Comparing the Pyramid of Cholula with other famous ancient monuments, such as the mysterious structures of Machu Picchu or the enigmatic temples of Angkor, one cannot help but wonder how many more such places remain unexplored. How many secrets does our planet hide? And what can they tell us about the past of humanity? Perhaps under every hill, among every church, there is a story waiting to be revealed. But the mystery of the Pyramid of Cholula remains unsolved. How long will we have to wait to learn the truth about this magnificent and mysterious structure? Are there similar secrets in other corners of the world, waiting to be discovered? Each new discovery can lead to new questions, and perhaps under every layer of earth lies a story that we are not yet ready to hear. Cholula is not just a place. It is a symbol of our quest to unravel the mysteries of the past, and perhaps in this quest lie the answers to questions about our past and future, about what it means to be a part of this extraordinary and mysterious universe. Fortress of Ollantaytambo, Secrets of Incan Geometry. Traveling from the pyramids of Cholula to the mysteries of the highlands of Peru, we find ourselves at the magnificent fortress of Ollantaytambo, which is striking with its unusual architectural style and mysterious building techniques. Located at an altitude of over 2,700 meters above sea level, surrounded by steep cliffs and green terraces, the fortress appears as a true enigma, created by the hands of ancient Incas. But what makes Ollantaytambo so unique? The first thing that stands out is the ideal masonry. the stones used for the construction of the walls. These massive blocks, seemingly cut from a single piece, are perfectly fitted together without the use of mortar. How did the ancient builders achieve such precision? Some researchers suggest that the Incas used special methods of stone processing that remain a mystery to modern scientists. Sometimes rumors circulate that the stones were soft during processing, allowing them to be shaped into the desired form and size. But how could this have happened? Perhaps the Incas possessed an unknown technology that allowed them to manipulate natural materials at a completely different level. Or perhaps they used unknown secrets of ancient magic and knowledge that were lost with the disappearance of their civilization. The stepped terraces on which the fortress stands also evoke admiration. They served not only for agricultural purposes, but also as part of the water supply system, directing rainwater to the fields. These engineering solutions that the Incas integrated into their architecture cause admiration and raise new questions. How did the ancient builders manage such complex tasks at high altitudes where the air is rarefied and the climate is harsh? What knowledge and skills did they possess to create such grand structures in the conditions of the highlands? Studying Ollantaytambo, we cannot help but ask, what inspired the Incas to build this monumental structure? Perhaps the fortress was not just a defensive stronghold, but a sacred place where rituals connected to their religion and culture were performed. Local legends speak of the fact that this place held secrets that could change the course of history. But what happened to these secrets? How could such a powerful civilization disappear, leaving behind only stone testimonies of their greatness? But this is not the only mystery connected to Ollantaytambo. Studying its history, we encounter a multitude of other mysterious objects scattered across the territory of Peru. From the enigmatic lines of Nazca to the magnificent Machu Picchu, each of these locations brings with it new questions and discoveries. How many more secrets are hidden in the depths of the earth, waiting to be revealed? The mystery of Ollantaytambo remains unsolved to this day. How long will it take us to explore the ancient ruins to understand the true nature of this extraordinary place? Perhaps under every stone and among every terrace lies a history that we are not yet ready to hear. Ollantaytambo is not just a fortress. It is a symbol of our desire to unravel the mysteries of the past. And in this desire, perhaps, lie the answers to our questions about our past and future, about what it means to be a part of this extraordinary and mysterious universe. Mysteries of Teotihuacan, a city without right angles. Traveling from the magnificent fortress of Ollantaytambo to the enigmas of Mexico, we find ourselves in the mysterious world of Teotihuacana ancient city, where, as it is claimed, there are no right angles. This place, built long before the arrival of the Aztecs, is shrouded in an aura of mystery and enigma, which, like a fog, envelops its magnificent pyramids. The Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon, rising against the backdrop of the blue sky, seem to insistently call us to unravel their secrets. But who created this enigmatic city? What were its inhabitants like? And what did they try to tell us through their architecture, which we can only attempt to understand? Teotihuacan, in the literal sense, is a place where people become gods, and it is one of the most impressive and complex cities of antiquity. Its planning, which amazes with its symmetry and harmony, raises the question, how could the ancient builders achieve such a level of craftsmanship? The elements we observe seem devoid of accidents. Everything is thought out to the smallest detail, from angles to proportions. It is incredible, but some researchers note a striking similarity between the proportions of Teotihuacan and Egyptian constructions. How could two such different cultures, located on different continents, create such similar architectural masterpieces? This raises disputes among scholars, and each of them offers their theories, from the possibility of ancient civilizations' migrations to the most extraordinary coincidences. But the mysteries of this city do not end with its architecture. Research shows that Teotihuacan had a complex and highly developed system of governance and economy. It is unknown exactly how these mechanisms functioned, but this leaves us with a significant question. What caused its decline? How could such a great city, inhabited by thousands of people, disappear, leaving behind only ruins? It may be related to climate change, wars, or internal conflicts, but no theory can provide a definitive answer. Immersing ourselves in the atmosphere of Teotihuacan, we can feel the breath of antiquity. As if in the silence, we can hear the whisper of those who once walked its streets. The walls of these pyramids hold many secrets, and perhaps some of them will never be deciphered. How can we understand the ancient philosophy embedded in every stone and terrace? What lies beyond the limits of our understanding, waiting for someone to pay attention to it again? Although we can only guess what happened to Teotihuacan and its inhabitants, this place continues to attract researchers and adventurers, each of whom hopes to find answers to the questions that remain unanswered. But this is not the only mystery waiting for its time. From enigmatic cults to mysterious rituals, each new discovery opens new horizons for contemplation. How many more secrets are hidden in the depths of the earth, waiting to be uncovered? Teotihuacan remains an unsolved riddle of antiquity. How much longer will we need to study its ruins to understand the true nature of this enigmatic city? Perhaps here, among the stones and shadows they cast, lie the answers to questions about our history and culture, about what it means to be a part of this complex and intriguing world. Caves of Puerto Rico, gates to other worlds? Traveling from the magnificent ruins of Teotihuacan to the mysterious depths of Puerto Rico, we encounter another enigma, shrouded in myths and legends. The caves of this tropical island, delving deeper than can be explained, hold secrets that often seem to defy rational explanation. Among them, the system of caves known as Camino del Rio stands out, where enigmatic petroglyphs can be seen on the walls, left by ancient cultures about whom we know very little. Who were these people? What were their beliefs? And what were they trying to convey to future generations through their images? The local inhabitants of Puerto Rico believe that these caves are not merely natural formations, but true gates to other worlds. Legends of subterranean beings that inhabit these secret depths are passed down from generation to generation. Some speak of spirits guarding their territories, while others claim that these places can only be accessed at certain moments when the stars align in the correct positions. Who knows? Perhaps these beliefs are not so far from the truth. Archaeological research has shown that civilizations, unrelated to known cultures such as the mysterious Taíno or other indigenous peoples, have left their traces in these caves. How could these ancient people have existed on such a remote island and left behind such enigmatic signs? Some suggest that they were part of a larger network of ancient seafarers who traveled between continents, leaving their marks on various lands. Others believe that these petroglyphs are evidence of ancient deities transmitting their messages to posterity. Whatever the case, these enigmatic signs on the stone continue to attract researchers eager to unravel their mysteries. With each new discovery and each new petroglyph found in the dark corners of these caves, questions multiply. What lies beyond the visible? What were the traditions and rituals of these people who left such signs in the earth's depths? And most importantly, what happened to them? How could such a civilization disappear, leaving behind only fragments of information that we struggle to interpret? Immersing ourselves in the atmosphere of these caves, we can feel the cold air penetrate our lungs, and the sounds of dripping water echo in the silence, creating a strange sensation as if the spirits of the past are whispering in our ears. These walls have seen much, and perhaps they hold answers to the questions that have troubled us for centuries. What is the true nature of these mysterious caves? Are they truly gates to other worlds, or are they merely a myth created by the imagination of people seeking to explain the inexplicable? How can we unravel these enigmas when we do not even know the intentions of those who left their marks in stone? Perhaps hidden in the depths of these caves are not only artifacts and ancient signs, but also answers that were once lost but still await their time. And although we can only guess at what lies beneath the earth, one thing remains unchanged. The mysteries of Puerto Rico are just a part of a larger mosaic of enigmas that ancient civilizations have left behind. How many more such places await discovery, and what secrets might they reveal to us? Temple of Quetzalcoatl, the splendor created in one night? Traveling from the dark caves of Puerto Rico to the bright expanses of ancient Mexico, we encounter a mystery shrouded in myths and legends, the Temple of Quetzalcoatl in Chichen Itza. This magnificent temple, built, as legends claim, in just one night, has become a symbol of incredible architectural achievements and profound spiritual beliefs of the ancient Maya. How could such a grand structure arise in such a short time? What secrets does this extraordinary monument hold, erected with the help, it is said, of supernatural forces? According to tradition, the temple was created with the help of the god Quetzalcoatl, who embodies wisdom and creative power. The legend tells that in one night, when the heavens were full of stars, the deity descended to earth and, using his magical abilities, quickly erected this magnificent structure. But how could such a miracle occur? It is possible that this is not just a myth, but a reflection of deep respect for architecture and mathematics, which were inherent in the ancient Maya. However, the temple itself, like its creators, hides many secrets. Each spring equinox, a unique spectacle occurs on its staircase. A snake appears to crawl, an optical illusion created with the precise calculations of the architects. This optical phenomenon, evoking awe and reverence, makes us ponder, how could ancient people predict the movement of light so accurately? What knowledge and technologies did they use to create such an effect, which continues to amaze modern scientists? There are various theories about how this temple was built. Some researchers suggest that the ancient builders used complex mechanisms and construction technologies that may have been lost over time. Others believe that supernatural forces were involved in this process. But whatever the case, the Temple of Quetzalcoatl remains a symbol not only of architectural genius, but also of profound spiritual beliefs that permeated every detail of its construction. With each new study and discovery related to this mystical temple, new questions arise with even greater force. What were the true intentions of the creators of this magnificent structure? What did they try to convey to their descendants through this grand monument? And perhaps the most important question, what secrets remain hidden within its depths? Immersing ourselves in the atmosphere of Chichen Itza, we can feel the sun warming our faces and the wind whispering ancient stories carved into stone. Each step on this land reminds us that, despite all our achievements, we are still seeking answers to questions that have troubled us for centuries. What is the true significance of the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, and what other mysteries do ancient civilizations hide within themselves? In this world full of secrets and mysteries, we can only guess at the discoveries that still await their time, knowing that each new answer opens the door to even more questions. In conclusion, it is worth remembering that many of these magnificent structures are not just beautiful monuments, but also officially recognized parts of our historical heritage. They stand as silent witnesses to ancient civilizations that left behind a multitude of mysteries that require unraveling. Each of them, from the Temple of Quetzalcoatl to other notable sites such as the enigmatic megaliths of Stonehenge or the magnificent pyramids of Giza, fills us with awe and wonder, making us ponder what secrets might be hidden within their walls. Even today, despite all the achievements of science and archaeology, they still hold more mysteries than answers. What drives us, modern seekers of adventure, when we gaze upon these monuments? What message, perhaps, did their creators leave for us? What stories, which we have not yet discovered, await their time to be revealed? As we explore these ancient sites, we can only speculate about what lies hidden behind their stone facades. What are your thoughts? Which of these architectural masterpieces would you like to visit personally? Which mysteries associated with them particularly interest you? Write in the comments which structures have impressed you the most and why. Don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell. Many more fascinating stories and mysteries from around the world await to be heard. In the end, the world is full of secrets, and each new story can open your eyes to something truly extraordinary. What other secrets of the past have we yet to unravel?